Hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Under the Floorboard. I'm joined here with my fellow co-host, Sean Spalding.
Thank you.
And our special guest, Jason Kelly.
How you doing, guys?
Thanks very much, mate, for coming on.
Very fantastic. How are things?
Superb, mate. Aye, getting there.
We generally, I don't want to go into, I was born here and this is where I grew up and this is the school I went to, but do you want to give us a wee bit of kind of background of how you got to here? I don't mean like getting the bus, I mean
It was a crystal maze getting in here, so that was the start. Well, I'll kind of brush through where I came from. So I came from Linwood, grew up in Linwood. But a hard upbringing. So I had a single mum, basically three kids, two brothers as well. So it was a hard one, you know what I mean? It was a hard growing up sort of thing. A lot of mates and all that played football and all the rest of it and had a great sort of life, but it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best, you know. I didn't have much money.
Three boys in a single mum household. That's busy, man.
Yeah, aye.
Busy.
So basically, when I was about 7, I think mum and dad broke up, and never really seen my dad that much as well. So, and then mum brought up 3 boys, you know. So it's quite a hard
Played by the way.
Well done to her.
I stayed in a good part of a decent part of Linwood, you know what I mean? The better part of
still
Linwood.
Linwood.
It was good. Most of Linwood's alright, you know what I mean? But so grew up there and then never really had a proper role model, but my uncle was my role model growing up. And he said he worked offshore. So he was an instrument technician.
All right.
And he would always say to me, like, you need to stick in and all that, you know. And basically, I think like, up to about 4th year, it's about your tubing skills, carrying on, playing football and all that, and as you do. And I nearly get chucked out of school in 4th year. I was wanting to stay on to 5th year, and they were saying, listen, you need to go.
I used to tell you no.
Fucking get on merchant, you know what I mean?
Somebody said, get out.
Get out. So they showed me the exit sign, and I was trying to stay. But no, my uncle had said to me, like, listen, you need to stay on, try and persuade them to let you stay on to 5th year and get a proper education, you know what I mean, and try and do what so I wanted to do what he was doing. 'Cause he had like money and stuff like that, a good house, like that type of thing. So I looked up to him as a role model. And my older brother as well was about 7 years older than me. I looked up to him as well, not enough. So he got a job with Scottish Water. He was working, got an apprenticeship and all that. So I thought him and my uncle sort of thing, I was trying to do something like that. So I stayed on to 5th and 6th year, and I done no bad in school in the end. I was never really intelligent at school, to be honest with you, like academic wise. But I had my head screwed on, you know what I mean?
Aye.
And so my uncle said they're doing this apprenticeship to go offshore for instrument technicians, there's sparkies, mechanics and all that. It was up in either Aberdeen, I think it was Edinburgh as well, and I think Middlesbrough, I think. Mm-hmm. So instrumentation guys went to Edinburgh, and then the mechanics went up to Aberdeen and stuff like that. So I applied for the apprenticeship in 5th year and I never got it to go offshore. It's like a 4-year thing. 2 years full time in Edinburgh or Aberdeen, wherever it was, and 2 years full time offshore as a placement. So I applied for it. I never got it the first time. So I got put in the reserve list, and then I applied for it the second year and I got in, which was brilliant, you know, because so many young boys and girls apply for that, you know, across the UK basically for this, because it's a highly paid job as an employee goes, you know. And so done that. I was never technically minded. I was never technically gifted in terms of my job as an instrument technician was like the guys I done my time with in Edinburgh for 2 years. A lot of them are really switched on, do you know what I mean? And I was like, I felt inferior to them a wee bit, so I was like, fuck, I'm not clever enough for this. It's no my natural instinct to be technical, because you're dealing with systems and instruments and all that. But I stuck with it, you know, basically just stuck with it and tried my best. And my biggest thing is not looking stupid. Like, nobody likes to look stupid, so I just tried my best to learn it, you know. And so I done no bad doing that. Then I went offshore when I was about 20. And I got a placement with a company called Chevron, oil and gas company, and so they're a big company, you know, worldwide,
massive. Yeah.
And so done my apprenticeship with them. Quite lucky to get taken on because a lot of guys work offshore for years and they kind of get an oil company job. They do contracting, they get fucked about and stuff like that. Whereas I was straight in, and like I done my 2 years. was quite lucky to get the apprenticeship. Again, I wasn't the best at doing what I was doing, but I had the hard work ethic, you know. And so they took me on, luckily. And then I get the pension and all that, and the salary and the shares and everything when I was like 21.
That's brilliant.
And I think I was on about 60 grand a year when I was like 22, 23 year old or something.
That's
like that.
scary, isn't it?
That's a brilliant salary,
I started off like 49 or something, then I went right up to like 60 when I was like 22, 23.
And full offshore at that point?
I was 2 weeks on, 3 weeks off. Right. So you get a bonus every April and that. So I was living the dream as far as being a young boy for like Limerick was concerned. Do you know what I mean? Because you know, most people like younger than that where I came from earning maybe like, you know, 20, 30 grand a year, whatnot, like most people. And but we were going offshore for it, and you know, so it's
benefits to that
catch
as well,
22.
Coming back, staying at your mum's for 3 weeks.
I was, mate, but I never go with my mum either. Never go with her either. Mum was a bit well, I never
getting on with her,
never going with her basically. So that was quite hard as well, you know. So I left when I was about 16. I don't talk to mum or dad. I don't talk to both of them. So that's my choice, you know. But when I was about 16, I left, went to Edinburgh, and then I moved into a flat in Johnston. And I was going offshore, Johnston, going offshore, and I was living the dream. As far
I was going to say,
concerned.
living the life, man. 60 grand.
You think so? Well, I mean, you're looking at it now and you think other boys that are doing in property, young guys, and you go, I wasn't so lucky, because the guys are doing great things in property and earn a lot more than that. So at that time, in my mindset though, I thought it was great, it was the best thing ever. And so I enjoyed it offshore, enjoyed the lifestyle, enjoyed like getting offshore with your mates. It's like getting offshore with your mates, you know, and you're having a laugh and all that and doing your job, and then you can't drink for 2 weeks and stuff like that. So you can't drink, you come home and you enjoy yourself for 3 weeks, plenty of money to do things and that, so it was good. And then it wasn't until I was about, I think I was getting, like I was there for years basically in the one place, and I started looking at doing other stuff offshore and getting up the ladder and stuff like that. And then basically I was at a point where I wanted to do something more. Like I'd done what I was doing for years, and then I was trying to go up the ladder. That didn't really work. Basically with guys I was like management stuff like that, I was looking at going to management level and stuff, maybe getting up that route. And then I decided kind of like I wasn't really getting on with one of the gaffers as well. So I got to the point where I was I kind of fell flat in its face as well. And I thought, I can't be arsed with this anymore, you know, going offshore and stuff like that. So I wanted to do my own thing. And then I always read books when I was offshore. So I always read stuff like, you know, like the compound interest effect and all that, saving money and everything. I always had that in my head, and boys offshore used to slag me for it. They'd be like, there's big Compound Kelly and all that, you know.
Compound Kelly.
They'd absolutely slaughtered me, because they would always sit and watch it. Like, I would watch the football. I love football and all that as well, but I was it was one of the ones where, you know, it was just, nobody else was reading their internet really. Everybody wasn't interested. They were slagging.
It's just a good ribbon. You still get it with your mates now, probably. I know I certainly do at times, like even with the property side of things, like when you're trying to do something different from what everybody else is doing, you do. It's a ribbon. I think in Scotland, it's just, you know, it's a laugh at times, but sometimes it can affect you as well. Like maybe go, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Do you know what I mean? But I think
sometimes it drives you, but pushes you a wee bit. You're like, because some, you know, they might be slagging you off, and you're like, right, I'll be showing them. You know
I'm a stubborn sort of guy, man. Like somebody slagging me, I use it to my advantage. Do you know what I mean? That's what I've always been like. But no, it was a good laugh in that anyway. You get a good laugh for them, so it was good. And then I was reading stuff like that, so I finished with one company. One company left the North Sea. Chevron had left, and then another company two paid over this other company, and I still stayed in the same place, the same installation. And they started like a pension, a private. So we had a final salary pension plan with this other company that ended. So that's away. No, it's not worth much, you know. It's even though it was a decent pension, but that's away now. But then another pension started, and then I was thinking about, like, I just had in my head, like, I want to retire early. You know, I want to retire when I'm 57. And so I thought, if I get all this pension, if I put as much into this pension as possible now, because I was earning good money, it's non-taxable. So you're getting, I think I was on like, I don't know, 70, 80 grand a year or something like that at this point. And I thought, I'm going to put half my pension, half my salary into my pension. And then I'm going to retire early. That was my plan. So I did. And then that started building and building. And my plan was just like try and still work offshore, but that was my kind of master plan at that point. Then I got to the point where I was just getting sick of getting offshore, you know. And then I seen property sort of stuff coming up, you know what I mean, with Paul McFadden and all that, and a lot of people have done his course, you know. But I seen that, and I usually wouldn't do it because at the time I was going to the football and stuff like that Saturday and just or doing, you know, getting out the piss and all that. I wasn't interested, but something was telling me to go. Do you know what I mean? To go to that jumpstart thing, the 2-day thing.
Oh, aye.
And something was telling me to go at all costs. Do you know what I mean? I was like to myself, like, because I would never usually go to something like that. It's a weekender, isn't it? You're usually doing it,
like 2 full days,
aye, 2 full days, aye, and a Saturday, Sunday. But I did go, and I think I was quite desperate. If I'm being honest with you, I think I was desperate to do something.
Try to find an answer somewhere.
Something
like,
different.
This isn't working. Try something different.
And I hadn't read, now people talk about Rich Dad Poor Dad and all that, I hadn't read any of this yet. So I knew nothing about Rich Dad Poor Dad. Then I done the 2-day jumpstart.
Yep.
And then obviously Paul McFadden was it. You come out of that and you're thinking, you know what I mean, he's a genius at selling stuff, isn't he? Like selling you.
You're buzzing, aren't you? You're like,
buzzing.
I'm doing this.
You're buzzing. And he's right what you're saying, all this stuff does work when you apply it, you know. So I was buzzing for it basically at the time, and I decided there and then I'm going to do the protege thing. So I went, fuck it, I'll sign up to it. And even though I worked offshore and I was earning decent money, I had fuck all with my name. Seriously, I stayed in a nice flat in Shawlands, Higgs Road, and that was worth a fair bit. But I was like, you know yourself, you're 80 and 90% mortgage. Do you know what I mean? So I never had much dough. Like,
were you still hammering money into a pension?
I was. No, do you know the pension thing? I put half my salary in 1 year, and then I just put in like 10% of my salary. My company was putting in 15%. So that it was getting hammered all the time. The reason I'm telling you that is because this is what the SAS thing came up.
I'm about to ask about SAS.
This is what I mentioned that for basically. But that wasn't the plan initially, you know. So I then done the jumpstart thing, and I thought, right, I've not got much money here. I actually put it on a credit card because I just lived by my means. I just went out and spent. I can't remember how much I was getting a month. It was like $4.5 grand or something a month from my hand. And then I was just going and spending that. Do you know what I mean? I was paying my motor, my flat, and then I was going out. You know what I mean? Usual buying clothes and all that.
Buying everything.
Enjoying
30
myself.
quid left at the end of the month. I don't know.
Exactly.
$4.5 grand, 30 quid.
Aye, nothing left. So that was that. So I signed up for it on a credit card, and I thought, right, that'll do me. You know, I'll sign up to it, and that's my life sorted now. You know what I mean? That's what you think of it.
The streets are paved with gold, innit? I've been told on a course that I can make a fortune.
I know. You know, but it was a massive thing for me, that course, that jumpstart thing, because it made me think and believe that I could do something different. You know, it made me believe I could do it. And the way they put it, I know that it's focused on positives and everything. They don't, you know, it's not focused on negatives, is it? But it made me think I can do this, you know. And I had wholehearted belief I was going to do this, and it's no change since. Basically, that's since that day. I know it sounds like a big, you know, thing I'm saying, but that's genuinely how I felt about it. So, pay for the protege thing, then I done it in April. So, jumpstart was January, done it in April. And I was going offshore. Then I was going offshore and doing videos. You know, I was doing videos at home and people were slaughtering me offshore and all that, putting signs up in my, I sat in an office and they're putting signs up in the door, meeting with Jason Kelly and all that, and a photo of me. You absolutely
Compound Kelly.
Aye, that's it. Aye. No, I was getting ripped apart, you know. Offshore for it, but I love a laugh and all that. Right? I can take a laugh. You can't work away. Not if you can't take a laugh, right? You can't get slaughtered. So, no, it was good. It was good. And then done the jumpstart thing, and then I really struggled to, like, I was thinking to myself, right, I know what I want to do. I want to have a load of properties renting out. It's very simple for me. It wasn't like do SA and do HMO and all that. It was like just get buy-to-lets and rent them out. That's as simple as it was.
Yep.
Because when you look at other people doing it, you go, I can do that. So I always believed in myself to do something. But then, and I think it's very simple as well. I think people try and confuse things sometimes, you know what I mean, with all these different fair play to them. But I just want to keep it simple. So I was like, right, I'll try and source properties and I'll get access to the deals for myself long term, and then the ones I don't want, you know, source them and whatnot. So I started sourcing and then I was 2 weeks on the rig. I was oil and gas. It's like an FPSO. It's like a ship essentially with anchors on it, you know.
Aye.
So I was 2 weeks out there, and then I was 3 weeks at home, and then in my 3 weeks at home I was going out and like going from like Motherwell to Irvine to fucking
hammering viewings as much as you could.
Just doing viewings, aye.
just going everywhere, you know. And then what did I do at that point? I felt disillusioned because I wasn't really doing, I wasn't getting anywhere. I wasn't getting any deals, you know. I was getting nothing. Basically, I was putting in offers and all that. People were just going, aye, whatever, mate, you know.
I suppose it's a bit frustrating because you're sitting on a rig going like that.
Aye.
I really want to be getting involved in this,
Yeah.
but you're obviously not. There's a lot of people do that, right? They're on rigs and stuff like that, and then they're on the same boat as you.
Like, the thing also when you invest yourself, like obviously you put in a credit card. I've spoken openly about doing that as well. And when you invest money that you don't have at the time, it's an investment, and you're like, right, I need to start seeing a result from this. And you're out doing, applying the actions that you get taught to do, and you don't see the end result. You're like, well, how's this not working? And you start to doubt yourself. Am I doing this wrong? Did I do this? Did I make the right decision? But as we all know, it's not just you get there, you go do your first viewing, put your first offer in, it comes. Something might get lucky doing that. But it's a very much volume-based game where you need to do multiple viewings, put in multiple offers, you know, get the setbacks from it, take a bit of resilience on it as well. And obviously it took a bit of time, but you eventually got your first deal, and talk to us about that.
Well, to be honest with you, mate, the first deal was when was it? It was like 9 months in. It was mad. I think it was like November. So I finished Protege in April, 7, 8 months. But I never really, the deal that I got wasn't, it was sitting in the market. It was just sitting in the market, you know. And it was actually, nobody wanted it, right? Because the guy was in the jail for what I never knew at this point. But the guy, well, you know what I mean? He'd done one of the worst things you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you get what I mean, you know what I mean? It was this guy, and it was sitting in the market. It was a flat in Irvine, and I went to the house, a flat, sorry, and I went in, and it was like fucking wallpaper was Sex Pistols and all that. The wallpaper. There's like, you had like thousands of records and all this, and lying about, and his bike was there, and his shoes and that were there. I was like, what's going on here? You know,
You still back to this.
I said to the agent, I was like, what's going on here, mate, with this? And it's like, he says, he's like, oh, I'm not sure and all that, right?
I'm not sure.
Right?
You're like, you are sure.
Ripping right out him, you know. So I went down to the neighbour, so there was it was electric heating. So I was like, can you put gas? Can you get gas up, run gas? You know, it's like you just start off, you're just thinking, oh, this stupid stuff, aren't you?
Aye.
Like, you run gas up and all that, you can just sell it electric, you know, but you think everything needs to be gas and all this, right?
I know.
Well, I did. So I went down to the neighbour downstairs, and I says, mate, what's the script with this? Because the window was broken in the close and everything. He went, the guy's been done for being a sex offender, like he's been in the jail. He's in the jail now. Like, and people have been at the house, like, you know, protesting and all that to get him out of his house, to get him out of the estate. So I never knew any of this. So I said to the agent, I said, what's this? Oh, that's about that the guy's in jail. He went, oh, aye, that's right.
I forgot to mention that.
I forgot to mention that big
He's
crucial
like,
detail.
I knew there was something I had to tell you. He's like, oh, I've got it on a post-it
That's
note
why the
somewhere.
bike's still there.
Mate, I'll be honest with you, I'm just thinking, sell this, man. I'm, you know, but and trying to be a pretty conscientious guy, right? I'm going, like, should I sell this? Am I the right? Is it right? And I was actually I signed up with Jill Green for
Oh, yeah.
6 months as a 1-to-1 thing. And I phoned Jill and I says to her, listen, I've got this guy, man. I was like, it's all right. Do you think it's like morally and ethical enough for me to get rid of this? And she was like, aye, like, just get rid of it, you know, it has to get sold, somebody has to move into it and stuff. So I was like, aye. So I done that, and then it was mad because I couldn't sell it. I couldn't sell the deal, right? It was a 40 grand flat. Never had a clue what I was doing because I've never done a refurb in my life. So I didn't know how to calculate it. I didn't know what the numbers were. And I went up to Aberdeen for a course, and I'm coming back in the train, and I seen, what's his name again? Connor Tracy.
Oh, yeah.
Connor Tracy. And who's the big fella's name again? He's in business with. Is it
Laurie Duncan.
Laurie Duncan. They're sitting in like I'm walking through the first class to get to the council class. And they're sitting in first class, and the three of them are sitting there. A boy Alex, is it? Three of them. They're sitting there, and I mean, I recognise that guy Laurie there for somewhere. So I went up to him. I says, I've got this deal here. Like, you know what I mean? I started speaking away to them. How you doing? Like,
then randoms go, hi, how you doing? I've got a deal, and I know your face.
Well, mate, do you know what happened? Actually, it was like that. I walked up, right, and they were like, who the fuck are you? And I was like, well, I'm just this guy, Ivan. I've got a deal here, mate, if you buy it, you know. And this corner,
who's this drunk guy on his train?
I know, that's it. Aye.
Sell me a house for some guy that's dodgy as fuck, he's in the jail.
Aye. I just sat down, because there was 3 seats, and I sat down next to them. I was like, I'm Jason. I introduced myself, you know. I'm Jason, how you doing? I work offshore, but started doing property, but not. And they were like, aye, sit down and all that. And they were like, aye. I said, I've got a deal. And they were like, do you want, we'll buy it. The boy Connor's like, I'll take that off your hands now. So he sold it there and then, basically. On his, I think he was on his Wi-Fi in his laptop. And he was sitting, he sold it, I think, within a couple of hours, you know. And that was my first deal. That's how I sold it, you know. So I'm fucking buzzing,
That's
you know. I'm going great.
Or we went to Irvine for a viewing, debating whether you even sell it yourself because of the model. Like, I get that, by the way, because you're in there going, should I actually do this? But as Jill says, like, somebody has to buy it, somebody needs a home. Like, why not you be involved in that and kind of broker it?
Aye.
And then just so happen to be, you come back for Aberdeen for your course, and then you're like, I know they guys. I mean, you could have just went to your seat at the council seat, but you actually walk through, met there. It's just mental that it's actually worked out, and then you sort of deal within a few hours.
Aye, that's like fate, but that inspires you, I suppose. I take it there. You're like, Jesus, that guy's just sold that in a couple of hours. How has he managed to do that? I couldn't.
Aye.
You know what I mean? Then you're like, what am I doing? What am I going to do now?
Exactly. But again, I was disillusioned, to be honest with you, because I wasn't doing many. I wasn't getting anywhere. I was just a lucky deal as far as I was concerned.
Mm-hmm.
And then it led me. That was like the November time, I think, and then it was going to like January, and I was getting disillusioned, like I say, with sourcing. I couldn't get deals. I couldn't get them. I was trying my best, and I just couldn't get any over the line. We working offshore and stuff like that, because you know yourself. You need to, like, people ask me like, how do you source a deal in that? I'm like, you need to put your heart and soul into it. Like, you can't fanny about for 4 days and then decide to date on a Saturday. And you need to build relationships and phone them, harass them, and you're constantly doing that.
It's consistency, innit?
It's consistency, mate. It's consistency. Even then I'm getting sucked into refurbs and that, and I'm going, am I spending enough time here trying to get deals here? Like, you know, and you're always fighting with it. My missus always said to me, you need to go in the agents, like, because I always, like, you know, it's set up Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm like, agents, right? And someday I need this done. I'm like, fuck, like, so you end up getting off on a tangent, but no. So basically, that got to like January, February, and I thought, I'm not getting anywhere here. But I thought, these people on social media are posting about doing flips and everything. If I can do that, people think I'm doing property. Then, because the idea is you want to get investors to supply money to then get your projects, supply your projects or your buy-to-lets. So that was always a game for me. And I could see like guys doing it, other sourcers and all that, doing really well. And I thought, right, I can do that. How am I going to do that? I'm not getting traction here. I can't do it because I'm offshore. Dare say people are offshore doing well in that as well, just me. But then I thought, what I'm going to do, I'm going to sell my house. I want to sell the house that I'm in, pull the money out of that. I want to get it valued, pull the money out. I want to buy a flip and just make it happen, you know?
Aye.
Just buy something, just flip something. I never knew what to do with a refurb or anything. Like, I never knew where to start. Genuinely, where to start, you know, knew absolute hee-haw what to do. And so what did I do? I ended up selling, put my house in the market, got it spruced up, my flat, and I bought it for, I think it was 195. I bought it for back in 2018, and I put like 10 grand in or something. That was like 5% mortgage or something.
Oh, nice.
Right, so it was a massive mortgage. And but it went up in value to like 260 or something like that. So I was thinking, if I sell that, I can pull that out, just rent somewhere, and then get the ADS, saving the ADS and all that, right? And so I put it in the market, and then I found a flip. I don't know if you know Brad Robertson. Brad?
Yeah.
Brad, great guy, do you know what I mean? So Brad, based in East Kilbride, he phoned me and was like, Jace, I've got a flip here. He says, I was going to buy it myself, but the ADS kills the deal. And it was like 170 or something like that. He says, but it'd be great for you if you're selling your flat. My flat went under offer, and I get I think it was like 280 or something like that I got.
That's brilliant.
Aye, it was brilliant. I'd done the viewings myself, mate, so I sold it myself. Sometimes I'm like myself, should I do all the viewings now? But then,
but that's good experience, by the way, do you know what I mean, to do all that stuff yourself. It's great experience for you, because you're like, when people are asking stuff and looking around, you're like, oh, he's looking at the boiler, and you're like, you know, I think it helps. All that helps.
It all helps, mate. You know, you're always, I know it's fucking cheesy, but you're always learning. You're no losing anything. You're always learning. And so I put that house in the market. I got a flip. Never paid, obviously, ADS, because it was my primary residence sort of thing. And Brad was fucking basically, he had done it. He built his own house and stuff like that, Brad. I think he was like 26 or something, he'd done it. He's a fireman.
Jesus.
But he's a great guy. He just doesn't put himself out there or anything like that. But he had said to me, last mate, I'll give you a hand. He's like, I'll give you a hand with today and stuff like that. And I just learned off, I knew a joiner that I knew feel like back in Linwood days and that, you know. And I phoned him, and he's a shit hot joiner, but he's expensive. That's the boy I was talking about there. So I phoned him, and he's like, I'll come out and everything. And they must have thought I was fucking buttoned up the back, man. Cause you know what I mean? They're just like, that'll be that. And I'm like, aye, no bother. Like, you don't know the price of anything.
Exactly. I'll wait 2 of them, please.
Aye. So I get absolutely ripped probably for it, you know what I mean? But I just learned, and then we had a plasterer in and stuff like that. And plasterers were like, you know, I had a bit of issue with them, and I had another plasterer in and stuff like that. And I ended up staying in serviced accommodation, because I was planning to stay in it when I was flipping it, but the place was a shithole, you know. But I was planning on staying in that, and I couldn't stay in it. Sawdust everywhere. Never buy a flip and stay in it, mate. Honestly, it's brutal, man. You can't. I
do remember seeing the pictures and videos you used to post about it, and it's like, how could you pause? You got a dog as well, didn't you? Yeah, I think you had a dog to me at the time, and I'm like, how the fuck could you? Even the dog would be pure messy with sawdust and everything about it. And you're like, it's no livable conditions, man. So
Dog's like, I'm not staying here.
The dog's like, what are you doing? But no, it was an experience. So I was staying like Dalmeny House Hotel and all that, like nice hotel, but it was like 50, I think it was like 70, 80 quid a night, because it was during the week. Nobody was staying there. But it was a pain in the arse. So I'm going for A to B, and I ended up in service accommodation and that. But I'm just doing anything to get here at all cost. And then I finished the refurb, sold it, made a wee bit of money, but it wasn't a lot of money.
Is it more experience though, innit? Like you bought something, you refurb something, whether the costs are right, but you get charged or not, you still learn, right, okay, to install that kind of kitchen I get charged X. And then you might go, right, I'll try and get it less next time. So you've got a rough idea of figures. You've done plastering, kitchen, you've done a full thing. I think you've done the fence. I do remember seeing like the fence and stones around at the back door, didn't you?
He's got some memory, aren't
you got all sprayed and that. There's a nice one black and all that. I mean, I remember everything.
But also finances on it as well, which is the most important. You're doing all of that kind of deposit, or what does this mean, solicitors, you know, all the things that that people just assume happen.
Mate, that's the big thing. You're absolutely bang on there, sitting yourself as well, Sean. You know, like the figures and everything, and then the process. How do you buy a house? You know, you don't even, I never knew how to do that, like anything to do it. Conveyancing, how long does that take? What's involved in it? You know, all the fees associated with it, you know, everything. So it was a massive learning curve. And then basically what I did was I sold that, and I actually bought a buy-to-let. Again, I wasn't getting much traction. And then I bought a buy-to-let, and there wasn't much point in me doing what I did, to be honest with you, because I bought it for 40 grand, right?
Yep.
I paid a sourcing fee for it as well. And then I done a 20 grand refurb on it, right?
All right.
No, it's in Sunnyside Crescent in Hollytown. So it's not the best area, it's all right. But it's
Holton?
What's that?
Is that what they call it if you come from there? Holton?
Probably. Is it Hollytown or Holytown? So some people say Hollytown, some people say Holytown.
My mate came from there and they used to call it How.
Did they? Aye.
What if I 40 spent 20 revalued at 35?
Aye, well, that's what happened, right? So I spent 40 on it. But again, my idea was, if I'm showing I'm doing property, people are going to jump on that and maybe go like that. Like, you know, he's doing property, like invest in him, that type of thing. So I bought the buy-to-let, done the refurb, sold it, and then spent 40 on it, sourcing fee, and then I think it was worth 45 or something, right? But I never paid ADS because it's 40, right?
Yeah.
And then I got guys to refurbish it, and I spent about 20 on it. So it was what? That's 60 grand in. You're in 60 grand now. And then it was valued at 60 grand, right? So, but it was done pristine. But everything was brand new. Remember, you're renting it out, right? And people think you need to do everything to the absolute. That's what my mindset was at the time. I'm doing this properly. So I wanted to show everybody what I was doing.
Yeah.
So I wasn't even thinking about the money. I was thinking about what it shows I can do more than the money.
Yep.
And so got my first buy to let, bought it cash with the money I'd got for the house. And then I was 60 grand in, and I refinanced it and everything. So again, you're right, mate. You're learning all the process of refinance, everything, the conveyancing and getting that right. And the value will never even come out to the house to see the
Just a desktop
just
valuation.
like that desktop.
Trying to send pictures. Look what I've done, but
I know, man. I'm like, I spent 20 grand on this wee 1-bed flat, you know what I mean? So got pull 45 out of that.
What did he value it?
60.
Right.
So I spent 60 on it. It was valued at 60, right? So I may as well was going to buy a 60 grand flat. Rent
Aye.
it.
you pretty much just leave most of the refurb in though. So it's still a decent deal.
I know.
Because everybody speaks about that whole all money outs and I want like 5 grand left in the deal, but like you say, it's not about the numbers. It's more the proof of concept of buying a buy to let, refurbing it, refinancing it, pulling out some of the money to go again, and here's the kind of social media proof as such to like the other side of the story of like raising funds, getting investors, bringing on other clients to show them what a buy to let investment looks like for the sourcing side and everything as well. So there's more to it than just the deal itself. There's a bigger picture essentially, isn't there?
And if it's nice and not just like a shit heap that you're leaving, you know what I mean? That it looks better for your socials as well. You know, you're like, this is the quality I build to. This is what I'm doing. And then people were like, right, I might want to deal with him because it's good.
Exactly. I mean, that's exactly why I did it to that standard, you know, for that reason. So you don't want to be somebody that cuts corners and everything, you know. And it's like, I want to be known for how he does quality work.
Yep.
So you're right, Sean, I refinanced it, pulled the money out. I left 15 grand in the deal, more in cash. But you've got 15 grand of equity there. So it's no cost you much. It's no cost you anything, really. It's 15 grand, you've got it in an asset. And it was renting out like £300 a month or something. Because it was good quality, like it flew off the market. Like so many people interested in renting the flat because I think it was like 15 viewings or something. And then 7 people wanted it. And then I had to pick who, and you know, that was the end of it. So they've been paying me ever since, and it's been great. It was a great learning curve, mate. You know,
Same tenants, is it?
Same tenant, aye.
That's good.
So that was that, and then so I flipped the house and everything. Said to Brad had phoned me actually. Obviously, East Kilbride, right? He'd said, "Listen, my sister's got a flat, like in East Kilbride. Do you want to rent out?" So I was saying to him, "My plan's to rent out and just keep buying." Flipping. And he sent me it. It was like an ex council flat in a wee estate in East Kilbride. And I'm like, fucking hell, how I've fallen, man, from like where I came from, you know what I mean?
Big 260 to house in Shawlands.
I was staying in a lovely flat like in Highs Road, you know.
Aye,
and
nice.
I was earning good salary and all that. Now I'm getting no much
It's
money.
like
and I was sitting in a ex-council flat, you know. So that was, but my mindset was just take the hit there now for a year and a bit, and then you can start building and building. And so that was that. Moved into that flat, met a missus just shortly before that as well, my current missus, and we stayed there. She moved in and stuff like that sort of thing, you know. And she had a flat, and then what was it? So getting into, was it 2025? I was still with the company, and so I'm just trying to remember exactly timelines here. But I was still with the company, and then I couldn't really post, like, obviously, you know, I was still with the company at the time.
Give them their due respect as well.
I
do you know what I mean?
couldn't really like show what I'm trying to do.
That's you being professional, but that's spot on.
So just left that out, you know. And I said to my missus, right, going full time. That's what I'm leaving full time. I'm going to start posting, like, you know. Basically, I think it was like April last year. I said to him, I'm going to start posting everything I'm doing. Like, you know, this is the year I want to try and get some traction, you know what I mean? So I'd never posted anything. It was only my story I was posting, some wee things I was doing, like the flip and the buy to light and stuff. But no one can see what you're doing, right? No one can go like that. Jason Kelly,
There's no
What's he
history
done?
of it. Aye.
There's no history of it, right? So you're just another guy who's doing a wee bit of property, right? So I'd seen a couple other sources were doing really well, and a couple other people that were doing well, just property developers that were doing well, and they were posting like what they were doing every day, and I was going, right, I'm going to start doing that. So April last year, I just went for it. Like every single thing I was doing, I was posting it, you know. And then onboarded two clients at that point. They were seeing what I was doing. They were like, I'm interested. Spoke to them, and they were saying, "Look, listen, we want to work with you. You know, I want you to find my property and stuff like that and refurbish it." So I've done that for 2 clients. So onboarded them, and then sourced my property through another sourcer, and then got their property, and then, you know, sourced it on like to my client.
All right.
Refurbished it. They bought it cash, refinanced it. Done that a couple of times last year, you know, and so that gave me the experience, and then the social proof what I was doing. So I'm just posting all this gradually.
Good.
And then last year, I started getting like investors like contacting me and saying, "Listen, what you doing? We like what you're doing. We like that deal that you done. We've got cash here." And so I started getting traction from other investors online, basically just watching my Facebook and everything. So powerful, innit? Like Facebook.
That you just posting on like your grid, your story, and
Aye.
just basically what you're doing every single day, innit?
Yeah.
I always think with social media that if you're searching for money and you're craving the money, it comes out desperate. I always think that it comes out like, "Oh, give me money, give me money, give me money." But if you kind of like think the money will come anyway,
Aye.
and you go that I'm busy being busy with this,
Yeah.
then the money will come to you. I know people say it and you go, "I don't believe you." This
I think it's more just like you provide value. Like I think Moses speaks about it, but you want to give value first. And like just constantly keep giving value. Listen, what I'm doing. This is the refurb. This buy-to-let. This viewing. Whatever you're doing, and then it's like every so often drop in the kind of call to action. Like if you want to work with us, want to come on board as property
Exactly.
portfolio building. If you want to do this, give us a wee shout out, and then it's just continue that value, call to action, value, call to action. Because if you're always asking for the money, always asking for the clients, nobody wants to see that. They want to see what you're doing first, and then eventually you ask them, "Do you want to come on board?" And they go, "I do."
You've got to be subtle about it, and it's just a wee drop at the end rather than going, "Hi, how you doing? Can everybody give me money?"
Aye. So you watch a YouTube video, it's like, make sure to hit the subscribe now button. You're like, I get it, but like, doesn't it be every video? Like,
I know.
It's a hard one, because you need to, you're trying to put yourself out there, and you want people to know what you're doing and what you're looking for as well. So usually when I do a post now, I'll do a wee thing at the bottom of it, say, if you want to work with me,
Exactly.
I can source your property, but I'll show that I'm doing that for someone else, like successfully, you know. And so that's it really. So it got to the point where I started getting more traction. Then I get an assisted sale, and I get an investor, a joint venture partner who's bringing the money in. And then I got the bead flip as well. So I sourced that, and then I was desperate for the money because it was worth 210.
How did you find that?
It was in Jill Green's mastermind group. There was a lady in there, Elaine, basically. She was in the group, and she had said to me many months before that, she had said, because I was part of their mastermind group after I left Jill's 1-to-1 thing. I'm no longer in the group anymore. But basically Elaine was in that group, and Elaine, getting back to that as well, I thought if I'm in a group with people who have got a bit of credibility and stuff like that in property, then if I can work with them, then it brings me credibility.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking of ways to try and get ahead, you know, and that was one of them. I left the group like last year or something like that. But no, Elaine was in that group. So she has said to me, "Listen, I've got investors here with money. If you can get a flip, I'll finance it and we'll split it with her." So Elaine, I spoke to her and I said, "Listen, I've got this flip here." You know, I was desperate because I never had any investors at the start of last year because I wasn't posting anything. And basically, she had the money for the investor, so we used her investor. Then another boy came in as well, Jamie. He had a bit of money, he went in it as well. And then we done the bead flip, which turned out to be a bit of a tune then, but we done well with it, you know.
So I think we always speak about like also a big part we like to do in the podcast is obviously brilliant to hear all the success, but I've seen the progress of Beath when you've been posting it, and it was a massive project to undertake anyway, but then to actually the shit that you had to deal with as well, and we spoke about it as well on the phone, but like talk us through some of the issues you faced, how you overcame them, and I guess also there's a mindset shift to that, because obviously going from back to the first one, even doing your own flat, and then to doing the first sort of flipping back, like you don't know how to do your refurb, then you landed with this Beath one, which was a huge undertaking, so they're always going to be learning, like you said, but like what was some of the issues you kind of faced on that one?
Well, I think just prior to that, so that was back in May last year. Before that, I'd done another 2 refurbs, total refurbs, one in Cumbernauld and one in Wishaw. So by this point, I kind of knew roughly what to do. Yep. So it wasn't really the refurb for me, it was more just getting the money. I thought I could go in and refurbish that, no problem, to be honest with you. There's always challenges.
With trades or doing bits yourself? Or?
No, trades. Trades, aye. Fucking hopeless with stuff like that. So
I just wanted to do the way you were. No, I'm like, oh, that's fine.
No, so even before that, actually, I missed a wee bit out. I started like a refurb company as well, with a boy who was a builder sort of thing, and then it just wasn't working out, so we cut ties with it. Amplified Refurbishments, that's what I started the refurb company last year. Never worked out with him basically. He was too busy doing his own bit and everything, so we just cut ties, and I kept that going. So I was doing like domestic refurbs in the West End and stuff like that. I'd done a 1-bed to a 2-bed conversion in the West End. Again, just utilised trades, their experience, leveraged them, to learn how to get a building warrant and like change the 1-bed into the 2-bed, running drainage and everything, and running like the hot and cold water from one room to the next and everything. All that stuff you're learning. But it was successful. And so I had all that experience last year as well. I missed all that out, to be honest with you. So the time Beath had come, it was kind of like tying in with all that. Like I was experienced. I thought I was quite experienced with refurb stuff like that, which I was. However, the challenges kind of weren't really to do with the process of refurbishing. I was saying the main challenge, answering your question, Sean, I'll get there. Just talking shite now.
No, keep going.
So basically, the main challenge when you do a joint venture with somebody, you need to, have a contract to say who's doing what. So there was me and there was 2 others involved in it. My mindset was I was sourcing the deal. I was buying it in a bridge in my name and stuff like that. And then like my other 2 partners in it, they were bringing the rest of the finance. But I'd said to them, I said, listen, I'm trying to build my sourcing business here. So can you like they were saying they'll PM it. There was a lot of ifs and buts sort of thing, but I was like, do you want to PM it? I PM it. So they were the designated PM basically. They were in charge of the overall PMing of the project.
And it works.
And it did go well. It did go well. It was going well. I'm waiting here. But it's the issue you've got is when you've got 3 different partners in the one project. There's a lot of different like signals, and we're pulling in trades. I had a plumber, but I'm not blaming him there anything here, but I pulled in a plumber and stuff like that, and it was my plumber. And then he ended up getting rid of him and stuff like that, and stuff it just wasn't working out with him and stuff. So things like that, and then we had to get another plumber in the back of him, and then like my partner said their trades and stuff, so there's a lot of mix and match and stuff like that, and it just caused a wee bit of friction, in terms, no friction in terms, we never fell out or anything like that, but it wasn't working as smoothly as what I would have liked, if that makes sense. And then, but in the end, it worked out. But the problems we had with it were mainly the drainage. We had like, you don't know this until you buy a house, by the way, right? But we had a cellar, and like it was like I don't know, a couple of feet high underneath the house, and there was water like on the grass and all that, and it was coming in through the side of the garden and stuff like that, and it was the level was going up, the water level was going up in the garden. So we were going, what's going on here?
That's swimming pool now.
Well, we bought it in May. Jesus. We bought it in May, right? And it was nice weather, decent weather. It wasn't until we'd done the refurb and everything. Refurb was great. It looks unbelievable. Building warrant, built up the top of the house and stuff like that.
So a 2-story, did you do a 2-story refurb, did you?
Aye, so it was a bungalow.
All right.
It was a bungalow, and then I had
refurb.
I had just a space upstairs. So I had to rebuild the top level. There's no hot water or nothing. So there's a rewire upstairs and hot water, stuff like that.
Wow.
2 bedrooms back to back, 2 ensuite bathrooms and everything. Some project, you know.
Aye.
And but the main problem is the drainage and stuff like that as well. So with collapsed drains underneath the ground and everything in the garden. So we had to get fucking dyno rod out and all that, and it ended up adding up, you know, like the costs. But then at that point in time, we factored that in because we knew this end value was like 350, 375. With that,
And what did you buy it with?
Bought it for 210.
And refurb?
I think the refurb worked to about over 100 grand. You know, but
How much did you plan for the refurb? Sorry, I know I'm interrupting them.
No, we planned about. We actually thought we could do it for 75, about 70, 75, I think it was. But it went up and up, you know. But we actually knew it wasn't like we took a gamble or anything. At the time, we thought we're going to get 350 for this, so we may as well try and get 2 en suites in and try and get the maximum value for it.
Exactly.
Which is the name of the game, innit? You're adding value to get more money at the back end. And it worked because we sold it for 390, you know. So we got all our money back, and well, it's no sold yet. It's completes in a couple of weeks. So
That's great.
what's that?
That's great. And what would you have done? Just going back to that thing, just because that worries the shit out of me. How would you, like, you obviously had dyno rod in now. If you walked in today, what would you do different to see if you're going to buy somewhere that's maybe got a, like you said, a swimming pool comes with it?
I know.
See, to be honest with you, mate, you don't know. That's a problem with a property. You don't know what you're going to find as well. You know, that place was riddled with damp and everything, with the holes left, right and centre on the roof. The learning process was great for it because we had a lot of problems. There isn't much I could have done. Stephen, do you know what I mean?
Did you see the damp on it?
Aye, the damp was inside the roof. We had problems with the roof. We got repairs and all that done. I would have maybe replaced the roof to start with. You know,
It's a big
so I did it.
cost.
Aye, so you're trying to mitigate because it was slate and it was all right. We were told one roofer was saying it was all right. It just needs repaired, and then it wasn't repaired because when it got to like October and the heavy rain came in, fucking water pushing in, we're going, like, we need to go and get somebody else out here. So that's the
I
problem.
think sometimes you only go to the one that you want to hear first, right? The roofer's going like that. Like a couple of slates, it'll be fine. You're like that.
Aye,
I'm going to
ideal.
take his advice.
Exactly. So, but no, I think in any refurb that I do, I always factor in, you know, a fudge factor. Like, you know, if you go to a big house like that, you know you're going to have major problems at one point.
Aye.
You know what I mean? It's a 5-bed total rebuild of a house basically, and internally. So we factored that in. We knew we'd have the money to do it. So, we made good profit on that in the end. You know, massive learning curve. But that's when I started using investor money. So I never put a penny in myself for that. So that was purely investment finance.
That's nice.
So you bought it in your personal name, avoids ADS as well, didn't it? And then
Can we say
bridge. Of course you can. 'Cause you were going to stay in it.
Man watching this.
No, you were going to stay. You told me you were going to stay in
that's
it
legal.
anyway.
What you done?
You were going to stay in it, and you changed your mind because obviously you and your missus and stuff like that. So you changed your mind. Was it big
That's
enough for
it.
the dog and all that?
That's it. I was too
And,
big.
so I had to sell it. But I so obviously done that, bridge it in, and then investor finance. And I think that's the thing. Like from going from a wee 1-bedroom flat buy to let in, however you want to say that, Holy Town, to a 5-bedroom and B, there's a journey you go on to do that, and the confidence level grows. You're raising finance, you're building portfolios for other people. So, you know, there's a lot to take from that experience wise, which is absolutely brilliant because people don't know where to start, and there'll be people in your situation as well that have maybe done some education, come out, and have not had a deal in 5 months, and they're like, shit, this isn't working for me, and then they give up. Whereas you don't actually know the next deal for you is in the corner, or maybe like yourself, you need to pivot your mindset to go, right, well, fuck, I'll sell this house and I'll just go do something else. I'll go and flip something and do the get the experience that way. So it's not about, because you source now, do you know what I mean? So that was your original plan, was to source. Didn't quite get the deal to source, so then you go, right, I'll do a flip, I'll get one buy to let, I'll build up more experience, one portfolio, because I'll source for other people. And like the building portfolio thing, I think for me that changes from client to client, or it changes from portfolio builder to portfolio builder. So, I mean, for you, like, do you take on a certain client looking for certain deals, or do you, like, if you're just looking for any portfolio, what's your kind of chat we have with investors for portfolio building?
Well, see, to be honest with you, mate, see, in terms of the investor side of it, I've got investors who have seen what I'm doing, and they'll say, I've met them for a coffee, and they've went, I've got X amount of money, I'll give you that. for a project.
Yep.
So I done an assisted sale in Linwood, and that was through another joint venture partner, and the lady got the money basically, and then we done a joint venture and we split the money at the end. She
Nice.
paid back investor, and then obviously the beef project using investor money, and then I bought the assisted sale I'm doing just now is investor money as well. So that was 70 grand I borrowed for that. So that's at a percentage return as well. And the buy to let I'm buying coming up on Friday, completes tomorrow actually. That's wholly financed by investors. So they've given me 75 grand.
Yep.
Buying it for 52. It's probably about 15 grand refurb, plus fees. And then I'll refinance it at 90. I'll pay them back and I'll chuck in like 7 or 8 grand. So I'm getting like 22.5 grand equity for £7,000, you know. So I'm up probably, I don't know, 15 grand in wealth terms. Something like that.
Aye, that's
Decent.
brilliant.
But that's what I'm something with investors in terms of, but I've just got guys who, like a couple of friends as well. You know, my mate, one of my pals actually sold, like he broke up with his missus, had some cash. And he says, mate, I'll give you this if you want to use it for a buy to let or a flipper in it, things like that. And I've got a few investors who are just waiting to, a cracker actually. I was on, I done a video on TikTok, right?
Yep.
And I just put it on like doing this flip using investor finance. And then this guy messaged me and he says, mate, I've got money here. He says, if I want to invest. And quite a few people do that, like message you and say they want to invest. I went, all right. So I kind of took it with a pinch of salt at the time. He says, I'll come down to your flip and Beath. So he came down and then he says, he walked in, he showed me his phone and he went, I've got 100 grand, I think it was 120 grand or something like that. He said, I've got 120 grand there. And I went, all right. And somebody had actually said to me, right, 3 or 4 days before, see if you can find me 100 grand, I'll give you some money. I'll give you a fee for it, right? So I'm like that to him. I never had anything for him at the time, at that particular moment in time.
Yep.
So I said to him, listen, I've got nothing to know, I says, but what if I link you up with somebody who's doing a project? And the guy says to me, he says, I want to invest with you, mate. He's like, I don't want to invest with anybody else. He just seen me off TikTok. I couldn't believe it, you know what I mean? He's
Aye,
like,
that's
I want to
brilliant.
invest with, he's like, I want to invest with you. You come across as genuine and up front and stuff like that, and I know you'll do well and everything. I was like, fucking hell, like, I've just met him, do you know what I mean? But it's amazing how that's the power of social media, which I've just starting to understand recently, is that people can get to know you on that if you're just genuine, if you're being yourself, which I am. I don't try and kid on to people, you know, I'm something I'm not. So he's like that, aye, and then I've had 35 grand off him.
That's phenomenal.
And then I invested it, and then he said I'm paying him back in the next 3-4 weeks, and he says just roll it into the next one, and he's like, there's more money available as well. That's off TikTok, mate.
Aye, and
Mad.
people, like, obviously I do TikTok as well, but it's like a very niche. Like you say, that's one person, and somebody keeping me on TikTok and said I've got money. Like, all right, like what 14-year-old is this fucking saying, like, using them on as account? Do you know what I mean? Like, because TikTok is predominantly was based on a kid's platform, but there's a lot of things on there that you can. Certainly, I remember speaking to Kieran as well before, and he'd got an investor off TikTok from, I think somebody let him down, and he got one from there. So there's definitely every avenue to explore on social media to raise finance, to get joint ventures, to find deals as well. Do you know what I mean? Tory, who was on before, said he gets a lot of his deals from there. But I am just a wee bit cautious of time, just with for your own time. I've got a wee kind of quick fire round, and I do have it on my phone that we'll go through. So just worst property mistake and what you learned.
My worst mistake.
And what you learned.
There's been a few of them.
So you can have a wee think of it, and we'll take our traditional
Let's do that.
This one
bad boy
is
shot.
turmeric.
Oh, is it? Aye.
Turmeric's
Right,
apparently
good.
really good
Yay.
for you.
I'll put hairs in your
Cannot
chest.
wait for this.
It's
Is that as our picture of health now, is it?
this is a curry-ish.
Curry-ish.
Aye, with the turmeric in it.
Aye, that's exactly.
This
Well,
has
if I
got
spell it
heartburn.
wrong.
This has got heartburn now, is it?
I know, mate. Right. To your health.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That's fucking horrible.
Yeah, that's just gave me a bit of brain power now, so I know I'm going to answer your questions now.
That's my
Jesus,
worst.
thank
That's
fuck
my
for
worst
that, 'cause
mistake.
we're not talking.
And I love how we do this.
Like-
Like, we say, we answer a question and you get to talk about it and we're sitting dying.
I'm gasping.
Michael Jackson.
I'd probably say paying trades before they're finished a job.
Oh,
That's got to be the worst one. And by the way, I've just done it. I just done it in my last refurb again. I trust people too much, man. You know, my mindset used to always be trust somebody until they shaft you. Now I'm starting to think don't trust them at all until they prove their trust. So
Burning my throat, man.
it's one of the ones like paying trades before they finish their job.
It's a big learning, isn't it? Because then it's like, oh, you need to come back and do this. You're like, I'll be back soon.
Aye.
Do you know, I think, but I'm not going to slang off trades here, really careful how I word this, but do you not think at the beginning they convince you, no, I promise we'll come back. Of course we will. And then, like we were talking on the previous one, you get painters come in and then you go, right, I'm just going to clean it because this place is going to be easy. And there's paint pots and this has happened to me recently, wallpaper bits and shit lying everywhere. And then they're like, yeah, I'm just going to snag this. And they go, there's no need, I've done it all. And you go, I've paid him all his money, I've got no chance of getting this guy back.
I know. But as I kind of learning, like, so a bit like yourself, I do trust guys as well. I mean, if they do like recurring work, which I'll use the same main trades, if that kind of makes sense. So I know I can pay them, they'll come back. Until they don't,
Aye.
or maybe not. But for the most part, I can trust that they'll come back to do it anyway. But if it's just a random, like, use them for the first time,
Yeah.
100% retain something that's enough for them to come back and do it. Wow. Jesus.
Next hard question.
So one, I was going to say, like, from your first deal, which was the flipping East Kilbride when you sold your flat, anything you would do differently now, knowing what you know?
I'm probably see in terms of there's a lot I would do differently, to be honest with you, right? I mean, starting a refurb the right way is a good start, you know. There's a lot that I've learned in terms of what I've been doing.
Yep.
Like in terms of starting the refurb to the end. I mean, everything, it's a massive, it's like if you put somebody in a brand new job doing anything, they're going to struggle with it straight away. And the property's no different. Like if you put a guy for a rig who's dealt with people who are accountable in the one place, like the whole time. If I needed somebody in an oil and gas platform, you put a tan on you, if they don't answer, you go and find them. And you definitely get them. Because somebody will tell you. Usually in the shutter or something like that. Crossing it off.
You're not shutting the door.
But you can always find them. And then you're plopped in this big environment now where, you know, I thought everybody would be like me, if I was honest with you. Like, get things done, answer your phone, respond to you, don't let you down. You know, that's what I'm like. I never let them down. I've never let them down. So, you know, consciously anyway. But I ignore people and all that. That wasn't in my strategy. That wasn't in my mind, you know. And so that's my main thing. I would go back and try and have a better awareness of people and stuff like that what they're willing to, you know, what they're like, some of them. You know, most people, everybody, I actually believe everybody's got a good heart in them and they want to do the right thing for you. You know, 99.9% of them. But I think a lot of the time, the trade thing and that is, a lot of guys like take stuff on and then they've got other stuff going on and they're taking too much on. I don't think they're bad people or anything like that. And most of the trades are actually brand new.
They're not intentionally trying to let you down.
And sometimes it's my fault as well, I would say as well, because I am new to this as well. Well, I'm not new really now, but back then when I was doing my first flip, the question answer the question was, what would you change for the first flip? But I never knew what I was doing. So materials and all that, and guys like, well, how's that done? How can I come in at the back of him and everything? You know, so you need to look at yourself as well.
Exactly. I think a lesson learned is, see, when you go on these courses, and it's great going in them, but until you actually go in and look at a boiler, and until you physically look at stuff that isn't working, that's when you learn. That's when you know your plasterers coming in, and then you've got painters and joiners coming in, they're all coming in at the same time. You're like, that shit, man, this is wrong. No course is going to tell you that.
No.
It's only when you go, are you finished, joiner? Because I've got somebody coming in behind you.
I think it's also utilising the trade you've got. Like, I remember doing the very first one was an absolute rewire, plaster, joinery, paint, plumbing, like everything. And it's kind of like relying on trade. So for me, the joiner's always the kind of centrepiece. That makes sense.
Exactly.
So they've got the first fits and second fixes to do, and the certain things that need to be done before they can do this, and then before they can do that. So it's like, okay, so I would always go to joiner and go, right, what needs, at the very beginning anyway, what needs done before you can start this?
Yeah.
Right, okay, go to it's a rewire, right? Rewire, what needs done before you can
plumber,
start
aye.
nothing. Right, cool, you're first in then. After rip it, obviously. Then plumbing. And then once you start to go through, you see it's the same sort of recurring theme. Rip it out, first fix, second fix, make it pretty, clean it up, in a sense. Like there's
Aye.
obviously more to it, right? But
No.
you start to see the same sort of rhythm. And it's not until you start doing it and you're in the shit and you go,
Yeah.
right, cool, I've actually skipped ahead here. I've not actually, I'm asking the painter to start before I fucking get the second fix joined, right? All this kind of stuff. So definitely learning from it that you
Mate,
can always
see,
take
like
from your first one.
100%. See, like the assisted seal I'm doing just now. Like, I just went in the roof, massive like hole in the roof, right? I could have repaired it, but I was like, no, just get the whole thing off. 190 metre squared roof, replaced the whole roof, done the lot of it, and I've done it in like 9 weeks, and it's a massive. It's the landscape in itself is huge.
Yep.
There's planning permission for 2 semi-detached houses on it. It's a huge space, but that was like totally refurbished in nine weeks, and it went like clockwork, apart from a couple of wee issues with trades and stuff like that, just getting them in and back again and stuff. But you sort it out, and that's it. You're always just fine tuning. So people had that the property connect yesterday, Glasgow, the wee coffee meeting I've just started there.
Which was phenomenal, I'm going to say.
It was a good turnout, mate. It was meant to just be 7 or 8 people, and it turned into about 40 people. And I'm not exaggerating, I think there was 40 odd people in it. But when people are coming up to me and saying, how do you do what you're doing? How do you start and how do you do refurbs and all that? And I'm like, to be honest with you, I never knew what to do. Like, you just need to go for it. Just go for it and try it, and then learn off, leverage people. Like, come to that meetup or come to meet people, and say, have you got a Sparky? Have you got? So at that meetup, there's a Sparky. There's a guy landscaper. Come in, meet people, and go, right. I've got people here. Like, I've got the power team and all that. Like, leverage people skills. Do you know what I mean? Because that's you just need to take action by doing it and just try and wing it, and then you start learning. Do you know what I mean? Which is what I've done. And now I think I've not learned everything, but I know what I'm doing with my refurb now.
It's basically like how do you do your refurbs? How do you do this? Like, start. Like, how do you start? Just start.
Exactly.
You can read as many books, listen to as many podcasts, or as many courses as you want, and they're all great for the theory. And I always say it's like not it's what you know, it's what you do with what you know. So you need to go and learn the shit. Like, it's fine to say you can read a book on how to do a full project start to finish, but it doesn't tell you what to do when that happens, or what to do when fucking there's a swimming pool at the back of the flip. Do you know what I mean? You just need to get in and deal with it, and then learn from it. And like you say, it's not the end of the world. And then just kind of lastly, so for people to reach out to you, obviously you're doing portfolio building, you're also doing your own projects, you're raising finance, joint ventures, all the lot. And what to reach out to you for that, where's the best place for them?
Just usual, like TikTok, maybe not TikTok, but Instagram, Facebook, things like that.
What is the addresses?
JWK Property Investment is my trading name sort of thing. So but reach out to me, because I've got 4 projects on there now. Actually, I've got 2 that I sourced for clients, for investors, one in Barhead, one in Anniesland. I've got the Lark Hall one basically, and I've got the Newton Mearns one completing on Friday. So I'm really busy the now. It's great.
Good.
Aye, it feels good. This is I've never had so much traction actually to what I'm getting now, in terms of deal flow and stuff like that as well. So it's great. But reach out to me, like anyone who's wanting to basically invest in myself as well and get a fixed rate return, or indeed like if you want to build your portfolio and stuff like that as well, give us a shout.
Good. We'll put your details in the show notes as well. But no, listen, mate, thank you very much for coming on. And
thank you. It's been a
sharing
pleasure,
your story.
guys.
Absolutely
This is my first podcast, by the way, so hopefully it's all right.
Absolutely perfect, mate.
Listen, thank you very much for listening, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.
Cheers.
Superb.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Right.